Hi! How are you today? I have lipstick on my teeth. I probably have lipstick on my teeth. One second. Okay, we're all good. I'm trying out this new red lipstick. So if I have lipstick on my teeth, we're friends, right? You'll tell me if I have lipstick on my teeth. Cool. Okay, awesome. Let's get started. Greetings and salutations, my friends. My name is Samantha, and today we're going to be talking about 3 reasons you should be reading historical romance. You guys know I love historical romance. I can talk about historical romance forever. I want everyone to read historical romance. It's become an obsession. We can just call it for what it is. It's an obsession. I'm going to be keeping this video short and sweet. I'm just going to be breaking down 3 reasons why I think you should read historical romance. I'm also going to be showcasing some of my favorite historical romance books, talking about some authors that I think are just doing really amazing things. I do get a lot of questions about people who are just starting to get into historical romance, like where they should start, what authors they should look into, what historical romance is all about, because I think when a lot of people see historical romance, they more so think of like the cheesy covers, Western romances, things like that. So I'm here to break those stereotypes and kind of talk about the genre as a whole. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. I don't know, I was gonna film something else, but I sat down and like this is what my brain wanted to film, so here we are. The number 1 reason I think you should read historical romance is because historical romance truly is bigger than just romance and sexy times. I feel like historical romance, I'm going to say historical romance a lot in this video, so sorry about that. But I feel like the genre as a whole has a lot of commentary on bigger social issues. If you guys read those type of novels with British aristocrats, you would know that there's so much commentary on social class, female empowerment, and just like overall, like the male patriarchy. I don't know why that word sounded so weird coming out of my mouth, but there's a lot of commentary, especially in like Regency novels, about British aristocrats and titles and the working class in general. So I always find it interesting when I'm reading historical romance and the author slips in that commentary. If it's done well, I feel like that type of commentary can beautifully mesh into the love story and enhance it. It also puts the romance at more high stakes, if that makes sense. I feel like in historical romance there is a little bit more high stake than say like a contemporary or young adult romance, especially if we're talking about someone like a duke marrying someone out of their class or a marriage of convenience. It feels more high stake, high risk. It feels like both of the characters have a lot to risk in their relationship, and then the fact that they continuously choose each other is so sweet. Hopefully that made sense. I feel like I kind of rambled a little bit right there, but I do have a couple of examples of really just well-crafted books. I feel like these 2 authors are amazing at writing a romance that has a lot of commentary about larger social issues. So the number 1 author that I just think does it flawlessly is Beverly Jenkins. You guys know I have been crushing on Beverly Jenkins' writing so much recently. I think she's just doing something so special in the historical romance world, and she's been doing it for a really long time. She started writing in the 90s, and even like her very first books that she wrote are flawless, absolute masterpieces. So all of her books have a larger commentary about race. Most, if not all, I'm pretty sure all of her books are set in America, and they focus on people of color who are being affected by slavery and prejudice. It follows not only their love stories, but it also follows their struggles and their journey that they had to go through. Something about her writing is absolutely magical. I feel like she does so much research that goes into her books, and a lot of the things that is happening in her books are stuff that happen in real life. You can't help but read one of her books and then want to read all of them because her writing is so magnificent. So the one I have in my hand is Forbidden. This is part of her Old West series. It's the first book in her Old West series. This story follows Ryan and Eddie. Eddie is making the travel to California from her hometown. She wants to open up her own restaurant and sort of just create a better life for herself. Things sort of go haywire, and she ends up meeting Ryan, who saves her life in the middle of the desert. That's not a spoiler, that's in the beginning of the book. And they sort of just have this really intense connection with each other, but it is forbidden, as the title suggests, because Ryan is passing as a white man. This book was extremely powerful. I laughed, I cried, I was emotionally invested with these characters. It is so well written. I've never read a book like it, to be completely honest, and the way that Beverly Jenkins wrote about someone who was passing as white and the privileges that they had, but also what they were missing from their culture and what they had to give up. And just, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. All of Beverly Jenkins' books are so powerful. Another one that I would highly recommend is Indigo. I don't have that book because I listened to an audiobook, but I cannot wait to find the original copy with like the original cover, because that book is so gorgeous. This book follows Hester and Wyatt during the time of the Underground Railroad. Hester is a conductor of the Underground Railroad, and she meets Wyatt under his moniker the Black Daniel, and together they have this super slow burn, seductive romance. All the while they're helping slaves to free themselves. A lot of tension and action packed in this book. So much good commentary. Highly recommend. Another author that I just think knocks it out of the park when it comes to social commentary is Kerrigan Byrne. Most of the books that I've read from her have some type of discussion about sexual assault, female empowerment, and women just finding and becoming confident in themselves and their own sexuality. I love her books. I love her writing. The one that I'm holding right now is How to Love a Duke in 10 Days. This has a pretty heavy commentary on sexual assault. In the very first chapter, our main character is assaulted, and the scene is so just gut-wrenching, seeing our character go through this and then having her meet, obviously that scene is not with our hero, and then meeting our hero and falling in love and finding that there is passion to be had and pleasure to be had, and just seeing that someone can treat her with respect and love is so sweet and amazing. I love Kerrigan Byrne. Okay, so sorry I ranted a lot on that first reason, but I feel like not a lot of people know or realize how important historical romance can be, and how some authors are just doing these amazing things and talking about issues that are relevant today, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So now we are on to reason number 2, and reason number 2 is a little bit lighthearted and fun, and the second reason I think you should read historical romance is the stepbacks. Whew! You guys know I love me some stepback. So if you don't know what a stepback is, some historical romances have it, some don't, where you have the cover on the front and then you have this little flap where it opens up to another beautiful picture. It's usually like a lover's embrace type of situation. We're really into it. You guys know I love the hashtag Stepback Saturday. The second reason really doesn't have an explanation to it. I think stepbacks are fun and lighthearted, and I know we're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but let's be honest, historical romances have the best covers out there, and there is nothing wrong with collecting pretty covers that just make you happy, and when they're sitting on your bookshelves and you see them, they just bring you joy, you know, like the Marie Kondo effect. I hold this book in my hand and I am brought immense joy, and that's like, if that's not a reason to read a book, I don't know what it is. I'm going to show you some of my favorite covers that I've accumulated. I do have a video where I literally just talk about stepbacks and how much I love them. I show you some of my favorites. I'll link that video down below, but I'm just going to show you a few right now. This first one is Forever in Your Embrace by Kathleen Woodawes. I love this cover so much because you have the front cover and then you open it and it's like a larger version of the front cover. This just looks like a fever dream of sexiness. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. I just love it. So there's that. Okay, so if we're talking about stepbacks, we have to talk about Amanda Quick. Hands down, she has some of the best, most epic stepbacks ever. So let's talk about them. This one is Deception. Oh my gosh. See, just so much going on. I hope you guys can see. There's a burning boat. There's someone getting in a knife fight. There's a lover's embrace. There's just I think there's children singing. Yes. Okay. There's just so much going on. I love it. I love it. Johanna Lindsey is pretty classic and well known when it comes to historic romance in general, but especially her stepbacks, because she has the classic Fabio on her stepbacks. Favorite Johanna Lindsey cover and stepback is You Belong to Me. I love it so much. We have Fabio, and I love this one so much because we have a Voyager horse in the background, just, you know, living his best life, doing his thing. Oh, there's another classic Johanna Lindsey. Where is it? I have it somewhere here. A classic Johanna Lindsey. This is Tender as the Storm. This one doesn't have a step back, but I mean, look at him. He's naked. I know, very scandalous, but we're into it. We're into it. I have a lot of step backs and a lot of covers that are really beautiful, but the pride and joy, the cream of the crop of my collection is Night Song by Beverly Jenkins. I love this book so much. I think this is the very first book that Beverly Jenkins wrote, but yeah, this is the original cover in hardcover. It doesn't get better than this. Step backs are the way to go, and it's a huge reason why I love historical romance. I know it's vain, you're judging a book by its cover, but it's the truth. It's the beautiful truth. Right, so we're at the end of the video, and the very last reason I think you should read historic romance is that there is just something immensely satisfying about a happy ending. I know a lot of people think that romance and historical romance is cheesy, and you can think that all you want, and maybe it is, but there is just something joyful and uplifting about a happy ending. When you get so emotionally invested into a couple and you see them go through all of these challenges throughout the book, and you finally get that epilogue where they're happy and they're married, it brings a smile to my face every single time. And for me, it's a form of self-care. When I'm having a crummy day, I feel like historical romance is one of those genres that is almost like an escapism read. It feels like I am transported into another place. I can sort of just lose myself in historical romance and forget about all of the stresses of life. And yeah, there's just something extremely satisfying about a happy ending. So don't ever feel ashamed about reading romance, because romance is so valid and so important, and I just feel like it's a form of self-care. Those are the 3 reasons I think that you should read historical romance. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys give historical romance a try. If you guys are someone who already reads the genre, I hope you found some recommendations. I do get some questions asking like who my favorite historical romance author is. I can't pick one. That's like a really hard question. I'm never going to be able to pick one. I already mentioned 2 of my favorite authors, and that is Kerrigan Byrne and Beverly Jenkins. Any of their books are fantastic. I highly recommend them. Another author that I absolutely just adore is Lisa Kleypas. She has her own shelf on my bookshelves. That's how much I love her. I just love her books so much. I don't even know like which one is my favorite at this point. Oh, it's so hard. If I had to pick one, I think my favorite would be, again, The Magic. This is a super angsty second chance romance, and it has 2 love stories wrapped up into one. I just adore this book so much. It was one of the first Lisa Kleypas that I read. It's a prequel to the Wallflower series. I adore that entire series. I recommend that you read them all, but I highly recommend this one. McKenna is the most swoon-worthy hero that I've ever read about. Love it. Another Lisa Kleypas that I just adored was Mine Till Midnight. This one is so beautifully written. Cameron is another one of my favorite heroes ever. This book follows Amelia, who ends up getting like a family inheritance because her parents have passed away, and she's sort of stuck as being the eldest in her family, needing to take care of her siblings and sort out financial issues in this house that she has been given that is really old and just not livable in. She ends up coming across Cameron, who is just so swoon-worthy. He is a gypsy and sort of just immediately falls for her and is so sweet and helps her take care of her family. I love them together. I highly recommend this book. But that is all things historical romance. I feel like I've been chatting for quite a minute. This was supposed to be a really short video. I mean, I was only talking about 3 reasons. I could have gone on and on, but we're gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I'll talk to you next time.